I've honestly had to restart this video 10 times now because I'm so hyped that I keep sputtering over my words. But let's give this a shot. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about two giant pieces of news that had just dropped this morning, including one about Tony Hawk suddenly making a return, and also the PlayStation 5's release date has apparently leaked, and multiple sources are now confirming it. Let's start off by talking about the skateboarding topic, which is, of course, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I grew up with these games. They have a huge place in my heart. These were more than just games. These were practically a cultural movement. When these came out, everybody had decided to buy the games, beat them, try and get all the high scores, and then people went out and got actual skateboards and started trying to play the game in real life. That is how big of a deal these freaking games were back in the day. Well, surprisingly, this morning we all woke up and Tony Hawk is on Twitter saying, hey, today's my birthday and I want to celebrate by bringing back classic Tony Hawk. They're doing a full-blown remaster of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. It seems like this is going to be a combined master edition that has obviously better graphics, cool new physics, and all of the tracks combined, which, I mean, this is just an amazing amount of value, but it's exciting to see all these cool spots like Venice Beach and the warehouse and so many of these iconic locations that we grew up with returning and, more importantly, being reimagined. Now, they've already said that this is going to be pretty much a one-for-one remake. It is a full-blown remaster, including things like the soundtrack, so the crazy amazing songs that we all love to play again and again and again. Guess what? They're coming back. Everything from 1 and 2. Now, we should try and set our expectations a little bit low on that specifically because licensing music is a little bit complicated, so I'm sure there'll be a few songs that are missing, but the game itself coming back and having all these cool new spots to do kickflips, that sounds amazing. But I'm more curious about the new features. One of them being online play. They've said specifically you're going to be able to connect to the internet and play against other skaters. Now, I love that. That, to me right there, I'm buying it just for that. The fact that I'll be able to play horse or score attack or try and just do an infinite grind combo and grind one of my opponents into the dust, that to me sounds fantastic. Now, I know what some people are saying, but DreamcastGuy, didn't the last game completely blow? In fact, hasn't the last 4 Tony Hawk games been complete garbage? Yes, you're definitely right. In fact, here's a fun little detail. The only review I've ever done where I put the score at the beginning of the video was in fact Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. This game was such a freaking abysmal cash grab. It was so pathetically uninteresting that I put the 2 out of 10 score right at the start of the video just to make 100% sure that nobody would buy it. This game sucked, and I think that Tony Hawk realized, okay, I can't keep putting my name on trash, or else the Tony Hawk brand is just going to completely flop. Now, there's another facet of this that makes me more trusting, which is that this project is being handled by Vicarious Visions. That's the people who worked on the Crash Bandicoot remake. And obviously, that is a very, very faithful remastering of the original game. I mean, beat for beat, jump for jump, that game was identical and perfect. So if those people are now trying to use their magic programming abilities to update Tony Hawk, I'm definitely on board for it. Now, something else I just want to say, which is they've already announced that there's going to be a Tony Hawk's Collection demo. That way we can all try out the warehouse for ourselves. So definitely I'm going to be installing that and playing probably 20 hours of that one stupid warehouse again and again just because I love it so much. But moving on from that, it's time to talk about the PlayStation 5, because it does seem like more details have just managed to leak. Now, I'm going to say something that some people probably are going to get mad about, but Sony is being really, really dumb about the PlayStation 5. They should be talking about it. They should be coming out on stage and showing us the box and talking about its details and showing us some more PlayStation 5 games. The fact that Sony is just so silent is starting to make a lot of gamers, myself included, included, a little bit frustrated. Well, today they decided to come out and say, check out this brand new logo. They have this new thing where whenever you start up the future PlayStation 5 Sony exclusive games, they're going to have this logo that shows, like, you know, a bunch of teasers of their projects like Gran Turismo and The Last of Us. Sort of their own way of having like a Marvel Cinematic Universe logo, a way to try and hype you up for the project and show there is some brand quality. Now that's great, okay, cool, what a great logo, but let's talk about the more important thing, which is the leaks. So there have been two separate leaks in the last 48 hours, both saying that the PlayStation 5 is coming out in October of 2020. Now the first one came from an accidental leak, which was when they were first talking about Dirt 5, that upcoming racing game. There was an email that was sent out to a bunch of like YouTubers and stuff that said, hey, we want you to try and be excited for the upcoming release of Dirt 5, which will be launching on the PlayStation 5 in October. It straight up said in explicit terms, October is when we're getting the PlayStation 5. Now they actually did a retraction on this and said, oops, we didn't mean to say that. That was just a little error on our part. But then, not even 24 hours later, we now have a separate one. So there is a Sony part of the company that just deals with recruitment. Obviously, right? Any mega conglomerate, there's a whole division of the company that's constantly just hiring. Well, somebody noticed that on the Sony hiring site, there is a job listing that says, we need new employees to help us try and get ready for the launch of the PlayStation 5 in October 2020. Now, to me, this is a little bit shocking. And the reason why is that most consoles don't launch in October. Typically, especially if you're having like a $100 million development console, most systems, at least historically, they've launched in November. Almost everything is launched in November. And the reason for this is pretty obvious. You want to be out in time for the holiday shopping. Here in America, people buy a bunch of consoles. They do all their big spending, typically in the later quarter, especially around Black Friday. This is the time where people have they've already saved up their money, they're ready for it, it's in their budget, they're ready to spend. So you want to try and have a big, really high dollar ticket item, like a new console, on store shelves and ready to go. So the fact that they're trying to launch this in earlier time, the fact that they're going to be dropping this in October, because I'll just say it, I fully believe these leaks. 100%, I absolutely 100% believe that it is coming in October 2020. And it says to me, just kind of looking into it, I actually believe that this is Sony trying to make sure that they can sell more consoles. I think that they're trying to realize we need to try and pile this stuff up as early as possible. Instead of just having the typical like 45 days between launch and Christmas, we need to make sure that we have 60 days or 70 days of sales leading up to Christmas. And I think that this is a smart move, but it also definitely shows that Sony themselves, maybe they're already trying to worry for how big of the numbers they can hit. How many can they sell? I think that Sony, more than anything, they need to start trying to hype this up. I mean, clearly, if the system itself is coming out in what, 5 months? 5 months from now, I'm apparently going to be playing a PlayStation 5, and all I've ever seen is the controller, and all I've ever seen is a couple third-party games. I think that what Sony needs to do now is start trying to get us more prepared for the idea of the PlayStation 5. And yes, I think that this means price tag. Give us a pre-order. Give us a time period. Give us a time to try and be ready mentally and financially for the PlayStation as you get ready to debut it. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. What do you think? Are you excited for freaking Tony Hawk coming back, or does this look like a needless cash grab? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Tell me if you're going to be buying the PlayStation 5 or if you're going to be getting the Xbox Series X in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Give this video a like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, but do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh my gosh, I was actually going to say something and I totally forgot until just now. Today is the 6-month anniversary of Google Stadia. Isn't that fantastic? Google Stadia has managed to take over the world. This is the all-digital future. Oh wait, that's right. Nobody's playing the Google Stadia. I guess I was right. I guess I was totally dead on to say that streaming kind of blows. Maybe people want to own their games. Maybe people want to have stuff on their shelf. Huh? How about that, Google? How about that, Google? Why am I so insane? Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.